Hi, my name is Faith Waruguru, a student and a wellness enthusiast, and this is my letter to my 19-year-old self. Dear beautiful and bright Faith, you are in boarding school and you feel very terrible. Your mom has passed away and you've reached a low you never knew existed. Your relationship with your dad is non-existent. Especially now that he's married again, almost immediately. You think that he no longer cares about you. However, you have to understand that your dad is also going through this for the first time. He has also lost a wife, and he is going through the same loss and grief that you're battling. You are bright, and everyone thinks you get an A in school. This is giving you so much pressure to perform, and I know it scares you to think you're going to fail. Just read and believe that you're going to get the best. I started by calling you beautiful because acne has nothing on you. You're trying so many treatments and spending a fortune on your skin, but nothing seems to work. Take a step back and appreciate that you're an art. Learn to give yourself grace and be patient. You're going to have beautiful moments of healing and be grateful for all that has happened.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of A Letter to My Younger Self. Today's guest is Sue. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
I was trying to remember the first time me and you interacted, and I think it goes way back to when I was around second year. Was I in second year?
So.
Third year. Were you also in UN?
No, I wasn't. But for some reason, all my friends were in UN. I was actually in Mueni University, Eldoret. But then I used to really sneak out of Moi and come to UN. Actually, think at some point, I didn't even need an ID to get into the hostel. Those guys probably thought, I want to study there.
So the whole story behind it's when I was doing the Made in Kenya video. So I was trying to put together outfits and just style them using Made in Kenya pieces. And at that time I was such, a growing influencer, such a baby content creator. I reached out to many people, and you're one of the people who responded, and you're like, you know what, here's the timepiece, create the content. And I remember we met at Odeon when you were giving me the bag. It was at Odeon, and you were like, hi, you're so tiny.
But I think I'd seen you before, still around Odeon. I think still around Odeon actually, but then I didn't say hi to you. It was those things for now. Kitambo. Now I understand it because now I also have a base of people who really, really follow the suit journey. So I understand, but then it's those things of you see someone and then you don't want to say hi because you're like, I want to say hi to Maxine. It was still around Odeon. So I'm just okay, I like how Odeon is a constant. I think for me that's the first time I ever saw you in person. And then the watch. That when you reached out now about the watch, I was like, okay, cool. Let's just do this, because I could see how you would turn that into content and all of that. Yeah, but congrats on the consistency. I think the one thing that I can say for you is whether the podcast, whether it's a YouTube, whether it's, I don't know, I just find you so consistent. Even Instagram, it's I know for sure we're going to have a post. So well done on the consistency.
Thank you. I need to transfer that same consistency to the gym. And that's
I'm here for that. I'm here for that.
Okay, so before we get into it, maybe you can read for us your letter.
Okay. Dear little girl, you're such a brilliant girl and you sometimes downplay it to fit in, but I wish you could own it more often because that's who you are. You are always looking out for others and trying to make other kids feel seen. Such an admirable trait that you will later realize is not a mere human function that everyone has. Especially in the public primary schools you will attend, namely Nzeluni and Kilungu. Find joy in the smallest things because that's what life is all about. Taking off your umoja rubber shoes to be barefoot like other kids, stealing pens from your parents' shop to give them to kids in your class, a noble and innocent thing to do, although you will surely get whooped for it. Go fetch firewood, steal mangoes from the school farm, make friends with kids who can bring you fruits in season from their homes in exchange for sweets and biscuit treats. Engage that business mind. It comes in handy with Sud. Oh, I bet you don't even know what Sud is. Having to leave school and rush home to wash dishes and start on dinner before mom comes home from work, as opposed to playing with other kids after school at this age, feels like punishment. But at least it will shape your sense of responsibility, a quality that will heavily help you run a whole company in the years to come. However, do not kill that playful inner kid thirst. Life gets a little too serious as an adult, and you will need that part of you. Attending all Sunday schools and every church service, huh? I know, sometimes it feels more like an obligation from your parents because dad is a pastor, but go religiously and memorize those Bible verses while you still have the time and mental capacity. Recite verses during Christmas services for small gifts while enjoying the ritual that will ground you for a world that hardly recognizes God and some turbulent times to come. You're always looking forward to your birthdays, for those joint kiddie parties and Christmas family reunions, when all your cousins visit from Nairobi and other towns. Please enjoy the treats, quality time, and the gifts. This might be all that you remember about them when you're all grown up with no time to link up. Enjoy the humble family times, yearly birthdays with your friends that your mom religiously throws, the horrendous beatings, and never forget the family photos with Mtua Picha, into brackets Wambua. You will actually be looking for the photo albums to remember it all. Little girl, enjoy this age to the fullest and be a kid as much as you can, because anything that comes after class 8 will be a serious standard setting spree as a firstborn, and then boom, you're an adult. You see this Nairobi, you're always envying your cousins for living there. You will live there too and even tire of it. Enjoy upcountry living, please. With love, 29-year-old Sue. Oh, this is so nice.
Yeah. Brings back a lot of emotion.
Memories, actually, yeah. I think if I was to say the truth, I can see how I'm 29, but it's so clear to me, like the little Sue I'm writing to. Like I can literally see that Sue. So then sometimes I'm always just like, time is such an illusion. Like you think it's Kitambo, but it's literally right here. So that was really, really refreshing actually.
Yeah. And the little Sue that you're writing to in the letter, how old is she? Or is there like a time period?
I think I can even see that girl, and she is in class 3-4. Class 3-4 is when I had a lot of those because I think I went to boarding school when I was in class 5, and from then on, then it was a private school now. So I'm writing to a class 3-4 Sue. I'm not sure how old she is or how old we were when we were in class 3 or 4, but that's a person I have written to. Actually, a lot of those things happened when I was that age and going to public primary school, day school.
So around 8, 9, 10, 11.
I think around there. Yes.
Yeah. And you also mentioned the Ushago upbringing. Could you tell us a bit about how you grew up in Shags?
Let me tell you, I think I say this and I don't even have the words to explain it, but I think it really, really formed the person I am today. So my mom, actually, my parents still live upcountry, so entirely I grew up in Shags.
Yeah,
literally,
still the same place where you grew up?
Still the same place where I grew up. But then my mom is a teacher, my dad is a pastor, is a teacher as well. So they used to teach at schools that were not so far from each other, in that it's still close to our upcountry home, but then there's like a town. So then my mom would opt to live in that town so that she's closer to the school. And then that same worked for my dad. So then we used to have like the home now where we've built. And then there used to be the plots. Literally, there's a shop and then Numa, there are plots. That's where we used to live. So it wasn't so far from our home. And I think a lot of the same, my friends now from back then, their parents were also teachers. Maybe they were teaching with my mom and we lived in the same plot. So I balanced a lot between living in that town center, and now living at home, and also how for us it's set up. Also, my shosho from my mom's side is not so far from our home. My shosho from my dad's side is not so far from home. So then over the weekend we could easily visit my shosho or so it was a lot of family, very well knit, literally upcountry bringing, kupika ni kuni, maybe makaa once in a while, but like literally if we're like at home, it's a lot of makaa. Just literally how upbringing is, which I still love so much. Like I feel like if I wasn't doing business content, I would definitely be doing upcountry content. Because I go to Shags a lot. I still go to Shags a lot, actually.
And where exactly is Shags? Maybe we are neighbors somewhere and we've never known.
Oh man. So my Shags is in Kitui. Specifically, I come from Mueni, in Kitui County. So then it's also not so far from Nairobi, I would say. That's where Shags is.
Us on the other side in Mwala, so maybe we're not we're not close to each other. Are there some aspects of that Shags living that you feel like you really do miss right now?
I would say yes. And I think I still seek it so much in where I even live even today. Just like waking up and there's just fresh air, there's sounds, I don't know, kuna kuku ya neighbor tu inawika, or even just like birds, or just the sounds you're hearing are sounds of life, not sounds of chaos and beep and So I think that's one thing I really, really miss about living upcountry. The other thing I would say is just knowing everyone. Like I love the community aspect of living upcountry. Like you literally know Mama ya Nani, you know the kids. It's a community. So I think for me, those are the things I would say I miss about living upcountry, honestly.
And even how you said that everyone knows everyone, it reminded me how, when you're going to, like, let's say a rush or something, upcountry, you can literally stop on the road and ask, Nenda kwa nani?
Exactly.
And you will be directed.
Ni wapi na utambiwa.
Here in Nairobi, you just can't stop at Adams, and then you're like, okay, sasa kwa Wabosha ni wapi?
You know?
People will be like,
you could even be in the same apartment, honestly, and no one even knows where.
Exactly.
So I think that's actually really, really something that,
I have to ask, the biscuits and sweets, were you also stealing those the way you were stealing the pens?
Yo, if I'm being honest, I'll say yes. I'll say yes. And I think now when I'm looking back again from a point of a business owner, I can say it's one of those things that I also, the first time I had the policy of don't eat your business money, or don't take maybe a watch and not pay for it. For me now, it was very loud because I remembered stealing those things. Na nikichapwa. So it was like, okay, I see why. Having seen my mom run a shop, I see why this would be a rule or like an important thing not to do. So the biscuits and the sweets are also stolen, as well as the pens.
So at that young age, why did little Sue find it so important to steal these pens to help the classmates?
I think it's because now having a shop, definitely my mom would give me pens, like, for this term, these are your pens. And then you remember the way we used to want to have a black pen and a blue pen. Actually, I think for us in that school, it was illegal to have a red pen, because then you mark utajima. You'd easily mark your own exams or something, A, B, C. It was just ABC. So then you're not allowed to have a red pen. But then I always had a black pen, a blue pen, and sometimes sneak in a red pen. And I could see like the kid sitting next to me on the desk, like, pia nataka kalamu, maybe they have a pencil. And one day I was just like, what about I should just bring pens and give everyone. And then so the class teacher, it was in class 4, I remember the teacher's name, she's called Mrs. Silo. She's still like my very, very good friend actually. And she came in and she was teaching maths. And she noticed, everyone has a new blue pen and a new black pen, and they're all big. She was like, no way. Like,
something's
there
going
ain't
on.
no way that everyone bought a new pen today. So what happened? And then I think she asked one of the kids, and you know how kids are so innocent. I think one of the kids said, Sue alitupea. Yeah, definitely someone snitched on me. And then now she called my mom. Not sure we had phones then. We had the Siemens, you know, those bulky things. I think my mom had, but I don't even think she called my mom because she also had a shop at the town center. So I think after school, she just looked for my mom and then asked her, did you give Sue pens to give the kids? Hey, agi nilichapwa. Like I think the one memory I have of kuchapwa ni hiyo, ningine I think I lost textbooks or something. So my mom bet me up, and then the next day the teacher was like, I think kila mtu leteni kalamu. They literally took them back and took them back to the shop. But I was like, okay guys, that was fun while it lasted, but it looks like
so kuna
you just
watu
don't
waliuziwa
steal.
half pen.
No, it was I think she noticed today and collect them tomorrow. So I think firstly they weren't like used up. I like that she caught them earlier on. But I also learned something from that. Like I really learned something from that. One is that aspect of, okay, then stealing. Like that was literally stealing. You know, it looks innocent and cute, but then that was stealing. And in a way, for my mom and now her business, you see now I'm able to empathize in regard to someone who's running a business. Maybe the margin there is like, what, 2 bob? And then we were like 20 kids in a class. Times 2, 40 pens, you know. So then I could see how she did the right thing, but for me it was so innocent actually.
I can also see it. And okay, but then now you mention the more you grow up, you realize that not everyone is wired this way, you know, with that innocence of, I can see all these pens in the shop and people are struggling, so let me take some to go and help. So at what age did you maybe start realizing that not everyone is, you know, as kind-hearted as you are, and like what are some of the circumstances that led to this realization?
I think I would say when I went to the boarding school, that school was bad. As in it was, we passed, we went to Kenya High School, it's cute. But then like the actual logistics of how you pass, the food wasn't great. We used to wake up at G4, we go fetch water, and I know still responsibility, but I feel like there's some of those things that would have been avoided. We were just kids. I'm in class 5, bro. Like I remember by that time I was still wetting my bed, and it's like, so why are you punishing me? You think I just woke up in the middle of the night and peed on my bed because I want to pee on my bed? No, like there was no empathy at all. The matron was, I didn't like that school. I think now it was maybe in such moments when someone just like, especially like the matron story, a kid treats you in a certain way and you're like, like this is so unnecessary. Are you okay? What's wrong with you? And then I think there's also a time, there's a guy I really, really liked. He liked me. But there's a girl in class 6 who also likes the guy. But the guy didn't like her. And so me, I didn't even know actually that she liked the guy. So, me innocently to kind of like those outings or something. There used to be a river close to the school. So like when you're in class 7, class 8, they used to say maybe you're stressed. You guys, since KCP is coming up, you can take a walk to just refresh your head, whatever. So like when you're going for such things, we would walk with that guy, nini. But then now that girl took it now personally. And then what did she do? Hey, alifanya kitu in the class. Mpaka even everyone alishanga, like, okay, what's going on? First of all, we need to know what's going on. And then later on you hear, you know, I also like this guy. I'm like, what? Bwana unanishangaza tu, mi sijui ni nini inafanyika. So then like such things, I think that's when I realized, oh wow, not everyone actually thinks of the other person that way. There's someone who is just maybe thinking about themselves. There's even someone who won't even see that you're struggling and they are keen to do something about it. People are full of themselves, I would say. So I think those are the moments. And then also high school, because coming from upcountry, and then you come to let's just talk about Kenya High School. And I feel like a lot of the kids who in that school is, people are privileged, people have cars. We didn't have a car until when I'm an adult in university. I think at that time we shall graduate. People have cars. So you feel like you're out of place. That's already something. And then now there's a kid who is entitled and it's swimming day. Me, I don't know how to swim. Like, hey, like, mtu na kutreat, unashanga. So you think everyone is actually at the same level as you.
Yeah.
You have no empathy at all. So I would say mostly school, highly contributed by school, actually.
Yeah. And do you think these happenings affected who you are? Like at the core, your niceness, you feel like you had to maybe change a bit to, fight it?
I would say no, which is something that I still try to like explore, even with therapy, because I'm just like, what is this in me that does, like, why can't I just now start thinking about myself a little? Because if I look at it from an angle of one of the worst things to have happened to me is like maybe a heartbreak. Someone has broken your heart, but you're still so empathetic about them. You're still wondering, are they okay? In my head, I'm like, yo, mbona ujipendi? Like how you think you'd no, and then you're able to still empathize with that person. A good example is like even in business, maybe someone steals my artwork, and even when I'm trying to resolve it, easily you'd be bile. I'm still, it's like a friend of mine has to remind you that no, this person wronged you, so there's no way we are going to try and they're wrong, So I would say no, it hasn't. And maybe just that's who I am as a person, as I said in the letter, because I'm slowly beginning to also admit and be like, okay, maybe this is who I am as a person. So maybe I just need to understand to what level I can be there for people and still be there for myself. Because I also really empathize a lot with small business owners, actually, because if you look at my content, if you look at the things I do, masterclasses, whatever, it's like I really wanna, if I could carry you and help you skip a bit of the hardship, I would. But then also now I'm learning there's no way to do that for someone. Sometimes you just have to let someone go through the process and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I would say no, it hasn't changed who I am as a person.
And I mean, being like that, you're prone to people taking advantage of you. So I mean, now as an adult, being aware of this, how would you say you protect yourself, and how are you able to, you meet someone and you're like, oh, maybe this one doesn't have my best interest at heart?
I would say, I don't know if it's a healthy thing emotionally and all of that, but I think for me it's I have one friend who, if I feel that way, I will just like run it through her just to see, wait, am I in check to, is it a green light? Like I have one person who keeps me in check. Like if I feel like I need to protect myself in that way, I will just run the situation through her, and then she'll tell me, no. I feel like Hapa, this person is now walking all over you. No. So I think I would say I have developed friendships, and actually, if I'm to narrow it down to that specific friendship with someone who understands that I am actually this way, so I'm able to get support that way. I think the other thing is now what I was saying about therapy. I feel like after I have taken therapy for now 2 years, I think I am definitely, I'm able to catch that early on. Yeah.
And I like how you explained it, where you are like, one day you're in class 8 and then boom, you're an adult.
Let me tell
because
you.
Truly you blink and then
and you're an adult.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I feel like kids these days are in such a rush to grow up. Like kids want to be adults so bad. And I'm looking at you and I'm like, take the nap. That nap you're being forced to take as an adult, you might not even have time to take it.
Oh, like, I literally think, for me, I don't remember. I think all through high school, the little moments I would have as a kid would be maybe one time when I got sick, my appendix had to be removed and stuff, and it was really, really critical. And that's when I felt like, oh yeah, actually what? Oh yeah, I'm a kid. Actually, like my parents are here. They took me, we went to Hosi. I was, had an operation. Like that, that care, the actual now aspect of care. Apart from that, I don't know. I can't remember any other time when it was not maybe your grades, nini. And then now we need to start thinking about your degree. I'm like, yo, niko tu form 2. Can we just chill a bit? I think also the other aspect of being a firstborn, I would say, truly you're constantly an adult in a way if you're a firstborn, because you're trying to set an example for other people. You're trying to maybe help because you're the bigger one now, maybe help your kids. Or sometimes now, even when my sister got to school, it's like, mi natoka shule, then napitia shule out, then tunaenda home pamoja. Such things just really, really make you feel like an adult. I would say, it's after class 8, for sure. I feel like, boom, you're a kid, and then you're an adult, then you go to university. I took myself to university. I still tell my mom about that part, and she knows, because I normally tell her, I feel like everyone else who is behind me, tulimpeleka university.
All the way.
Mimi, I was going to LD. I have never been to LD. My university is not in Eldoret town. It's somewhere in Oko, Ushago, somewhere. You know? And now you've just left me to figure that part for myself, you know? So then I got into the bus, North Rift, with my big suitcase. Went all the way to LD by myself. I don't know where the campus is. Because Eldoret rains a lot. It's raining. I'm like, okay, so me and my suitcase nimeshukishwa before the town. What do we do? Nikanyeshwa kidogo. A Nissan comes. I hop into the Nissan. And then the school already had some misfunctions of the dates and stuff. They changed our reporting date by a week. Okay, now you guys, I'm here. What do I do? Imagine, my mom tried reaching out to someone. They were not able to host me. I had to make a friend in second year and stay in her hostel. Like, do you see already how Miss G,
you were thrust into the adulting?
What is this? Then I stayed there for a week, and then now that's when people reported, and I reported as well. So you see how then boom. I mean, third year, I need to have a passion. A company comes, you need to manage. Like, it's just been. I think even sometimes when I do some things, I think even my parents understand that I'm just trying to sort of like compensate. Like if it's my birthday, I'm going to do something big for myself. If I want to go on a trip, I will go on a trip and not feel bad about it. Yeah, so I think, you blink like this and you're an adult.
And I'm here just comparing our entry journeys. Meanwhile, Mimi, I'm there first year. I'm even holding my dad's hand. I'm like one of the, I think only like 3 people have their parents there. I'm like, you're not even, I think he had work. He was supposed to just show me where the uni was. Mimi nilikata.
You're not going anywhere.
And everyone is just looking at me like, who is this child holding on to the dad like this? And I'm like, hey, you can't leave me here with all these strangers.
So I think for me, everything actually after that just screams adult.
And you actually explain it. You describe it as a standard setting spree, especially being, a firstborn daughter. Tell us a bit about your family and like how many kids you guys are.
So we're 3 kids. We're all daughters. So we're 3 girls, which I think the age gap really, really helps because there's a sense of like, it's like 4 years, everyone. So you still have time to grow up before the other person comes in. Yeah, but I think we're 3 girls. I don't know what else to say about these girls. Definitely different personalities. I still see how being a firstborn sometimes even has me, because now my sister is now going to she's in first year, she just started, and staying with her before now she does maybe like her first year, and then after that she can move into a hostel because she's still new to Nairobi again. We grew up in Shags. As long as you're not studying anything in Nairobi, you have no reason to be in Nairobi,
Meanwhile, we're only at 2 Eldoret.
Boom. By the way, don't know, sometimes I'm just normally looking at my mom like, Yani, you just, I'm quite the firstborn. So then with that, even I'm living with her right now, I'm able to see how sometimes I'm projecting that firstborn and trying to figure it out by yourself aspect of it. But then I catch myself because I'm like, no, but you've experienced Nairobi. So if you didn't know where Archives is, you mustn't throw her into the deep end and tell her, go figure. Like, so then I'll even like walk her around town and stuff like that. So I think we are good friends actually, and I see how for some times when I have to live with them, I feel like they really heal that part of me being a firstborn. Like, you understand, oh wow, this girl actually sees me as their sister and not as their
a mini parent.
So then even the conversations we have, or mtu anakufanyia kitu, you're like, oh, you did this for me. So it just really heals those parts of me feeling like you guys really, really gave me the responsibility to decide your lives. But we're 3 amazing girls.
And when did you finally come to Nairobi? Was it when you were going to Kenya High or before?
So what used to happen is I used to come to Nairobi in between, but it still used to be like you have to defend yourself and prove that you can go, you need to go to Nairobi. Like maybe if there's a December holiday, they're still, I think they're back to normal now, because it used to be long, like from November to January. So then maybe if my aunt comes to Shags, maybe my aunt who works in Nairobi comes to Shags for an event in November, I would need to beg my parents and tell them, let me go with auntie. Then I'll come back with her when she's coming back for Christmas. Because we always used to have the family functions and boozy and stuff. So then those are the little times I would come to Nairobi. And I think there's even a time I came to Nairobi when I was in maybe class 6, 7. She took us to a park, like not Uhuru Park, but such a park where there was the kids entertainment stuff, and I have never forgotten that day. Literally, I can tell you what I was wearing. I can tell you I met like 3 other kids. I can remember that day so clearly. So I remember those bits of coming to Nairobi, but I think I can say like kuja Nairobi kabisa was now when I went to Kenya High School, they came, brought me. Then I used to, when the holiday is too short, I used to stay with now my said aunt. If it's too long, then I would go to Shags. So that slowly, because now you see I also have Nairobi living friends from school. So in between those 2 holidays, it's like, since then they know watanichano atu kidogo. So I would say that's when I had a bit of like the city life and knowing, okay, wapi ni wapi, this is Jogo Road, whatever.
Was it what you expected?
Back then I would say yes and no, because I really thought of the city. I don't know where I got that idea from. When did I ever read a book about a city? But like I really thought, a city, so you think every building, everywhere someone, everywhere, every apartment, maybe if it's like Buruburu, if it's like Kileleshwa, if it's like, they all look similar in terms of like the high buildings. Like I didn't know like town ni sasa CBD town. I thought it would be like
a town.
Yeah. Like it's just now a big, Nairobi is everywhere that is in Nairobi has those buildings. That's what I thought actually. Then you realize, okay, so then there are outskirts, there are places where it's literally people are just living their own life over there. So I think, in a way, that way it wasn't what I expected. But it was fun.
An experience of mine that is closest to yours is when that time I was in primary, my uncle was in uni. So they used to stay in Mombasa. So when he was here in uni, he came to stay with us for a while. And at that time, we hadn't yet gone to Mombasa. And I remember how he used to describe to us Mombasa. And let me tell you, Sue, me when I used to think about this Mombasa, I just used to be like, everywhere is a beach.
It's a beach, no? I know.
Everywhere is a beach. You get out?
Yeah.
Oh, when I entered, I was like, okay,
where is the sand?
Yeah. Wait, you
have to specifically go to the beach to be at the beach. I see what you mean.
The beach is not everywhere.
I just feel like maybe that was my experience with Mombasa. Though we had gone for a trip, those school trips things you go for. I think that also really, really made me realize, maybe it's like the ocean and then but I still expected that a lot of places would be then closer to the beach, where 30 minutes to the beach. What is this, Yeah, so I think as a kid, when you're told something, it's very easy that I like that innocence. And I think even up until now, the other day, like a bit of like 2 weeks ago, I was just doing journaling and a devotional book, and he was talking about faith, and I could see how when like God says the faith of or the innocence of a kid,
Child,
it's
yeah.
literally innocence. If you tell a kid this, they will not try to paint any, they will paint the most perfect scenario available. So like I'm slowly trying to just remind myself, no. If you're manifesting or asking God for this, I want you to do it from a point of innocently. Wait, just throw it out there, you know? Yeah, so I think I can see how my kid mind worked then, yeah.
And when you mentioned that innocence, it's taken me back to, there's this thread of a teacher who asked kids to write letters to God. And they were really innocent. And the one that stuck with me was one who was like, God, why does it say that you're a jealous God? If you're God, don't you have everything?
Oh yeah, like what would you...
And you can think of that child sat down and was like, you can get everything.
Yeah, so then
why?
What would
the
devil have that you don't have or you can't have? I see what the innocence.
It was
really,
absolutely. Would you say that you grew up in a strict home? Because you mentioned you know, having to go fetch the water, the firewood, having to go to, you know, every single Sunday school, every single service. So would you say that your upbringing at home was on the strict side?
I would say yes. I would absolutely say yes. Like in that, whatever my mom said is the truth.
Yeah.
You know, if you're questioning it, then you're being hard-headed or... So I would say yes in that way. But more even like typical African parent than from... I think I'm glad that the religious aspect of growing up wasn't so like
in your
on
face,
my no. I think they really found a good balance actually, and I am always grateful that they allowed me to be who I am. And then there's church. So if you go to church, you're also listening as everyone else is listening. We definitely will do more, maybe like devotions, we'll pray before sleeping. Like there are traditions that slowly grew onto me from growing up in such a family. But I would say in terms of like the religious aspect, nothing was really like bottled down. You have to. No, I think they were very open-minded. I think also very highly contributed by my personality. Like I have a very strong personality in terms of I know what I want. I know who, like, I will say, me, if the shoe is pinching me, I'll tell you, no. I'll say, so then easily as I grew up, even in campus, if I question something, I will just question my dad, jokingly, but a question, I'm like, but you're like this and that, why, you know? Like, so then I think that also really made him realize, okay, she also has a voice for herself and she thinks very critically about things. So I think even then now after growing up, they realize, okay. Because even like stuff like when did I get a tattoo? Such things now. When did I get a tattoo? Not so kitambo actually. I'd already even finished campus, I think. But even when I got it, at the back of my mind, I didn't think of my parents. You know how people think,
what will they
Akiona, nee. Well, I knew it's going to be something new. But even when my cousin made it look like, na mama Sue Akiona, I was like, I didn't think to that level of, okay, I'm not... Imagine I don't have you in my mind when I'm doing it. I'm just doing it for me. But definitely when she saw it, she was still like, I was just like, Mom... it's a nice tattoo. Like it's yet in immature. So it's because most for me it's like affirmations. It's an affirming thing. It's like, but you don't have to. And then again, I went now to I got into the competition now that gave me funding for Sued Blaze, and then now my hair was blonde. Like I think Kapo Sasa, she was just like, yeah, God really knows how to humble you. Because then again, my person, and I'm not even doing it with you in mind. Like I feel like I look good with the blonde hair, and then she also loved the blonde hair, and so I think slowly she realized, okay, I can actually let her make her own decisions as long as I have given her the foundation of what the word of God is and all of that, which I really, really love.
Yeah. But all the same, now that you're older, you can really, appreciate how, all this even extra responsibility was prepping you for adulthood.
Yeah. I think it actually really, really goes round circle and comes back really well. I think also I'm getting to that level where even right now something can happen and I think of something similar that happened and how my mom handled it from a point of wewe nini, and I'm like understanding that she was doing it out of care, as in like I'm her kid. Like you look back and you realize, okay, your parents really did the best they could in what they knew they can do. They never did it to either hurt you or to like traumatize you. You begin to appreciate that, like, yeah, okay, I see where that probably would have been presented better, but all you knew and all you meant was for the good of who I am, Yeah, so I think when you're an adult, actually, if you're intentional, you'd be able to look at some things and be like, okay, I see what this was.
Where it was coming from.
Yeah.
And we've mentioned Sood a couple of times. And for the guys watching at home who might not know what Sood is your company. It's a watch brand. I actually have the very first one. It's hidden under Kuna Baridi Leo.
The rain was just,
this is the one that I have. And it's held up pretty.
It looks, actually,
the quality of the watches is really, and
the beads are still like intact and all of that. No, I really, really love that. Yesterday I was really tempted to like text and be like, you better. But I was like, no, let's just see. Let's see how
I
how
still
this goes.
have it.
Yeah.
And I've seen now there's like the smaller ones, like the one that you're wearing with the strap. Those are things that I really need to add to my collection. But then you mentioned how all the extra responsibility helped you, with the brand. So in what ways did your upbringing help you when it came to running an entire company?
Okay. I think number one is that aspect of discipline. I think that's something I have actually had from when I was very, very young. The aspect of knowing what's right and what's wrong, what needs to be done, and if I don't do it, this and that will happen. I think that's something that growing up, I really, really could have been from a point of the beating, could have been from the point of if you don't study hard, you're going to not go to the national school, could have been from a point of if you pass and then your aunt comes in November, then you can go to Nairobi. I think the actual thought process of how discipline works and the fact that most times I never did things that I really, really like to do, but it was my responsibility even then for me to do them. So if I do them, my mom will be happy. Oh, liosha vyombo, whatever. If I don't, shateshashana, nini. So I think with the brand now, what that does is it really helps you see that the amount of effort you put in will literally like materialize. Then also I think it has really, really helped me to build a team and still pass that discipline aspect. I think actually discipline is one of the strong ones. Number two, I would say, imagine small those things for my mom and her shop. I still remember she used to write down her sales in a counter book. She used to employ people and people would still like try and steal. So then she would come every maybe like twice in a week, go through the nini and be like, so such things I think really, really I remember them, and now that I have a brand, I can really like relate to how they would make sense from a point of experiencing a shop when I was younger. Overall, I think also the growing up really just makes you not leave. I think I don't leave the outcome of Sood to anyone. Like I really like knowing what's happening. Like there's someone at the shop right now, but then I will be in touch. At the end of the week, we will have a meeting just for me to know, okay, so what complaints did we have? If this came up, do you think this has come up often? What can we do? Like I really like being, like I know you've employed someone to do that, but then I still want to be in the loop because then if they don't do that and the problem comes up, it's still me, you know?
Yeah.
So I think
it's your name on the brand.
overall, like, responsibility, I would say, in that way. I don't leave the results of something to someone else. I try to control as much as I can. I think it actually, like, and even I think even me being, I think if I was a second born or a last born, I feel like the trajectory of the brand wouldn't be how it is. I don't know, because I've never been a second born before, but I feel like me being a firstborn and seeing the opportunities I had, or like how my life would have gone, I still believe that me being my firstborn really, really has made me go hard on entrepreneurship. Yeah.
And you talked about some qualities that little Sue had to, downplay in order to, help make others feel a bit more comfortable. What are some of those qualities? And now that you're older, how do you harness them, to take full advantage of them?
I would say growing up, it's things like ulikuwa number one. Na imagine ni sawa ulikuwa number one. Like, you don't have to like shush it a bit for maybe someone who was number 10 to feel like no, not that you're saying it like, don't be proud, but then appreciate that actually you are number one. For me, it's such small things. Like maybe there was a competition for like, I don't know, drama, whatever, or choral verse, or those things, and you did well, but then you still want to hush so that now other kids don't feel like, oh, she's over there, I'm over here. But truly, it's you did well. Like, just own it and then still try and be nice to people. That's different from you're shushing it so that you become like everyone. That's very dangerous, because then if you try to do that over and over, it's very easy that you start trying to be like everyone, which is not good, because you will not be able to fully maximize your potential as a person. So I think right now, I would say I still see it. I think I've just tried to really be aware, which is something I keep saying. As long as you have awareness, you know how something can happen in, like maybe you're invited to a forum or you're invited to speak on something, but you're like, I'm speaking alongside these people. Like, like, what do I have to say? And then again, the people around me, I think also people who really, really understand that aspect of you, and they tell you, no, you've done this for 4 years. No. So I think it's just that awareness of, I catch myself, then I'm like, I think the other thing I'm really, really good at is I speak up. Like, if I'm going through something, someone will know. If I have like a doubt on something, I'll just call a friend of mine and be like, yo, so I'm feeling like this and this and that. And then they'll be like, oh, no, you got this, So I still see a bit of that, which I think sometimes it makes me act on things much later than I should have. Sometimes I'm like, if I didn't have that voice in my head, I would have done so many things that like zingefanyika kitambo. Sasa utafanya 2 years later, then you're like, okay, so if I had done it 2 years ago, like we would be on to the next thing. So I think even as an adult, I still see them, but I am aware. I think most times I am aware.
What are some aspects of your childhood that you think you should embrace a bit more?
I would say growing up. That's a hard one, because I think the ones that I see, I still do them. Like growing up, stuff like I loved hanging out with my grandma. I see my grandmother, if I can, every month. Stuff like church and all of that, I still feel like I'm still in tune with that. What would little Sue have done that I still would want to embrace right now? I don't know. That's homework.
You can go reflect.
That's a really good one, because then I could look at it from that angle and see what other things can I still draw from the childhood me. It's interesting. Yeah.
And what do you think little Sue would think of adult Sue right now?
Well, I may think for sure, first of all, I don't think she would believe it. Yeah, I don't think she would believe it to this level. Because even me as adult Sue, sometimes I'm just like, what? Like, wait, how you living like this? How are you thinking like this? How you mean you created something that people actually love? I think she'd be surprised for sure. Should be proud. I strongly believe she would have dreamt more. I feel like I didn't dream. Actually, I don't know if it's, and I don't want to put it on other people, but I would want to put it on teachers or just someone who comes into contact with a kid. From my own speaking, when I'm told dream, I don't think I would have dreamt of this side of me. Like, I would have dreamt of being a great lawyer. You know, your very personality, you talk a lot, you're eloquent. Yeah. But I would have never dreamt of this side of me. And this side of me is now the aspect of you can create your own thing. You can sort of like work on your own terms. Yeah. You can actually create a thing that employs people. I don't think I thought of myself in the angle of, when I was a lawyer, I thought I would be a lawyer and then I'll fight for other people. But I didn't see how also the world needed maybe more jobs. There's that angle that I know for sure little Sue didn't have an eye for. But I don't think I would have like dreamt of this side of career, or this side of life could go like this and you're doing this, you know? Yeah, so I know she should definitely be surprised and proud of me. Yeah.
And I'd say, I mean, you've said you wanted to be a lawyer to help people, and I still think you sort of do, not even sort of, you do, because through empowering, of the small businesses.
Okay, so it's just a different angle, but the goal and the dream is still the same. I see what you mean.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. Okay, so keeping in mind the lesson that you now have, that you know you didn't dream big enough. So now here's your chance to dream even bigger and leave a message to 39-year-old Sue. So you can take a minute, think about what you'd like to tell your future self, and when you're ready, that's the camera.
Hi Sue. I hope you're still fun, outgoing, you love like the sun and just like nature. I hope you are creating more impact. I hope you are somewhere running either a company or doing something that actually helps either entrepreneurs or just like there's a social impact to your life. I hope you're married. I really, really hope you're married and you have like 2-3 kids. Yeah, what? 39? Yeah, I think we should be doing that now. I hope you build your out of town home, like you living somewhere where you wake up and maybe you see Mount Kilimanjaro, or I don't know, just something that is nature driven. I hope you're still going to the gym. I hope you still look good. I hope you have done the many things you want to do for your parents. By now, they are pretty old, but I hope you have given them everything that you would want to do for them. And I hope you are still going to church. I hope you are closer to God. Yeah. And I hope you're a millionaire. Yeah, I hope you're a millionaire because you love nice things. I hope you have those nice things. I hope you have that Benz. I hope you have traveled to all, this is very specific, Sue. You better have done it. I hope you have traveled to all the cities that were featured in Money Heist. That's like a big, big goal. So we're working towards it. You better do it. So yeah, I think I trust you to have done all of those things, and I hope you're dreaming even bigger because it's actually definitely possible to live life on your own terms. Yeah. And I love you. Yeah, and I hope you're not looking back and seeing maybe the things I did that were wrong and judging me because this is life. Yeah. I'm done.
Alright, so hopefully, in 10 years' time, I can come back and give you your message.
Yeah.
But that is it for today's episode.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It was a beautiful conversation.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, time went and we didn't even realize in how long we've been talking. It was really beautiful. I think I'll see you at some point later on this month. We're on a panel together, so that's interesting. It will be my first time doing one of these businessy panels.
They definitely need to have you on them, because we definitely can learn a lot from you, and how you're able to especially diversify. I think that's, I don't know if it's a gift. You're the one who will tell us, but that aspect of diversifying your interest and really, really also being consistent in all of them. Absolutely, I think that's either a talent or it's something that you've really, really mastered. So they definitely need to have you on a panel. I really enjoyed this myself. I think this is pretty much, I know people come here and tell you, go for therapy. I think they need to tell you you're their therapist. Because I actually believe anyone who comes here and they look back at their childhood self and go through, and the questions you ask us, this is a free therapy session, guys. Y'all better pay your bosha.
We start charging.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.